So, the Clippers recently made a trade with the Grizzlies for Eric Bledsoe. They traded away Patrick Beverly, Rajon Rondo, and Daniel Arutu for Eric Bledsoe. And I think the biggest question with this deal for the Clippers is what Bledsoe are they getting? Are they getting the Bledsoe from last year in New Orleans, or are they getting the Bledsoe that helped the Bucks win 60 games in the regular season? Because that is really going to determine how, if they win this deal or not, and just how it looks. And I think if they are getting the Milwaukee Bledsoe, I think this is maybe a move that's been a little bit underrated. And I've seen a lot of people slandering the Clippers, saying Bledsoe isn't even better than Patrick Beverly or Rondo, and frankly I just have to disagree with that. I think he feels like he's younger. He's only 31. It feels like he gives them more energy and more rim pressure, which is something they actually need. They also get to create about an $8 million trade exception for the Rondo salary, and they save about $30 million in luxury tax bills, which doesn't really matter to Steve Ballmer, but two extra handy things with the finances and things like that. And the trade exception, they could maybe get a player with that $8 million trade exception that could help them. Also, Bledsoe's contract isn't too long term. It's $18 million this year, and then partially guaranteed, only $4 million guaranteed next year. So they can have him off the books after 1 year, compared to the 2-year deals of Beverly and Rondo. No, they're both not 2-year deals. My bad, but they can get him off the books and they save a bit of money. So if I talk a bit more about the basketball, because if they're getting Milwaukee Bledsoe, I think he gives them something they don't really have actually on both ends of the court. I think offensively, I think the main thing is going to be him getting to the rim. He has the nickname Mini LeBron, which is a bit outrageous, but if he can get his head down, get to the free throw line quite a bit, which is like 3.5 times, 4 times a game, which is something the Clippers need. And if he's not taking those stupid mid-rangers and instead he's getting to the rim or just kicking it out and letting a more skilled offensive player do something, I think he certainly has value. I think he has value in transition with his playmaking. And I think he has value as someone who can score like 15 points a game. Like, the Clippers are going to need some of those guys with Kawhi out. They're going to need Kennard to step up. They're going to need Terrence Mann to step up. And I think Bledsoe is a guy who can offer more in terms of scoring offensively than Beverly and Rondo combined. So I think offensively, while Bledsoe is not a good shooter, he still hovers around, maybe 34% from 3. He takes too many, I think that's clear. But if you can reduce those to maybe like 2 or 3 a game and shoot like 34%, and then he's getting to the rim and getting to the free throw line and playmaking, I think he could be a decent addition to their offense, especially this season without Kawhi. And then defensively, it just depends if he's engaged, because if he is an all-defensive caliber player, someone as good as Beverly on that end. Someone who's physical enough to play bigger guards, quick enough to play smaller guards. Switching, he's not a super switchy guy. He's pretty short, but it's not the end of the world if you get switched onto a wing. And he gives them a perimeter defender, which sort of replaces Beverly on that end. So I think defensively he can help them out a bit. I think the Clippers are going to need to be a good defensive team without Kawhi. And I think they can between Paul George and Bledsoe and Zubac if he's being a good rim protector. And they have a bunch of good switchy guys. So yeah, if Bledsoe will start, I think he shouldn't play over Reggie Jackson. So if they want to do those two in the backcourt, it gives them, I think, a bit more offense. But if they want to maybe do Reggie Jackson, then Bledsoe off the bench, I think that's also cool. I don't really see Bledsoe being a guy who plays in the last 5 minutes of a playoff game just because he can't shoot and he's 6'1". But I see him as a guy who can contribute throughout the regular season and be that guy who can, get to the rim when the other team is on an 8-0 run, or make the right pass, or guard the opposing team's best perimeter player. So yeah, I think I actually like this deal for the Clippers. If I talk about the Grizzlies, I mean, they got off Bledsoe's contract, and they didn't have to give up a pick to do it, and they didn't have to buy him out. So I think that's a win. If you look back on the Steven Adams Valanciunas deal, they basically got a 2022 first round pick to take on Bledsoe, and now they've moved him on, which is great. They have Beverly and Rondo. I think Beverly, maybe they can get like a second for him. If there's a team that needs some defense, maybe the Pelicans. Rondo, I think maybe there's a buyout. He's an expiring contract, $7.5 million. Maybe he's willing to give up $2.5 or more million of that to go back to the Lakers or something. And if not, you'd hope he doesn't mess things up, and he can be a good mentor for Ja. Beverly is also like a player who's like a really intense defender, and that sort of buys into the Grizzlies culture. And then Daniel Arutu, I don't know anything about him, so yeah, we'll see. I think the Grizzlies, to get off Bledsoe is a good. It's good because they never intended on keeping him, and they have a bright future. But for the Clippers, I actually like this deal. I think it might be against the popular opinion, but I believe in Bledsoe to be at least motivated enough to play hard on defense and give them something that they don't have on offense, which is someone who can get to the rim and the free throw line. And you just hope that they don't have to rely on him in the playoffs, and that he doesn't take too many jump shots. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more NBA content, and I'll see you guys next time.